Hello, and welcome to Crooked House Gaming. Here at Crooked House Gaming, we like to explore the gameplay of simulation games, usually through a series of Let's Plays. In this episode, we will continue to explore the gameplay of Democracy 4. Democracy 4 is a political sim that lets you choose the role of a world leader and govern a country. If this sounds like something that you would be interested in, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any future episodes. Democracy 4 is by Positech Games. This game is in early access, so this game is not complete and the gameplay may have bugs. We're presently in version 1.37 that was released on August 30th, 2021. We are going to enter the first term of our third year. The GDP is up, health is improving, education is up, unemployment is going down, crime is non-existent, and poverty is almost non-existent. Our budget report, our government is currently running a budget deficit of $150.32 billion. We need to reduce this. Global economy is in a recession. This is having a negative effect on our GDP. Our polls report, government is popular amongst the electorate. We estimate a poll rating of 100%. Cabinet report, loyalty of our ministers can be described as trustworthy. Their effectiveness is generally considered fair. Let's look at the situation. We have a gig economy that should be starting. I am wondering how to reduce this, perhaps. It's the labor laws. Labor laws are basically a restriction on workers' right to strike. Capitalists argue that such restrictions are vital to prevent key workers such as power station workers, policemen, train drivers holding the country at ransom. Trade unionists consider the right to strike to be fundamental and not open to negotiation. The popularity with the voters is 72%. It's balanced right now. I'm not quite sure how to see where gig economy is affected. How would it affect our charts here if we lowered it? The trade unionists would be upset, the socialists would be upset, socialism would be down, the working week would be up, capitalists would really like that, wages would go down. Let's look at it the other way. If we raise it up, working week would go down, wages would go up, socialism would go down, trade unionist membership would go down. This is pro-union. Okay, we're not doing pro-union. Employer, wages would go down. Yeah, we don't want the wages to go down. We'll keep it balanced, but we'll do 8. Social media. An investigation is underway into data analytics firm who have deceptively harvested millions of citizens' personal data through social media platform. Users thought they were taking a fun quiz, but ended up being profiled and influenced by targeted advertising during the last election. Liberals are not happy with this. Everyone is not happy with this, and the GDP is down. I'm not happy with that either. We need to look at social media. There is a media monopoly. Okay, media monopoly reduces democracy. Press freedom reduces media monopoly. State broadcaster reduces media monopoly. I'm not doing a state broadcasting. Competition law reduces monopolies. Okay, media monopoly. Yeah, we're getting close there. We need to go down for a stop. It's a stop trigger. The freedom of the press is the freedom of communication and expression through electronic and published media. It is closely linked to freedom of speech, which is the fundamental right to communicate opinions and ideas uncensored. Curtailing the press freedom negatively impacts democracy, but affords the censor control over access to information. That would reduce corruption. Let's do 3 points in that. Will it be 3 all the way up? It will be 6 all the way up. Let's do 3 for press freedom. We have 11. Don't really want to increase the income tax. Middle income are already being slammed. What we can do with petrol tax. It would be 11 points. It would bring in a lot of money. Well, let's do a petrol tax. Let me take a look at the income history. Car usage. Minister effectiveness. She's pretty effective. Yeah, we'll do this. It'll bring in 4 billion. Let's apply the changes. We have 0 political capital left. We will end our first term. Let's hit that button and see what happens. We are in the second quarter of our third year and our second term as president, so let's see what happens. The GDP is up, education is up, poverty is down, health is almost wonderfully to the end line. We have a rare earth crisis. Economists warn that the increased dependence on rare earth metals is leading to shortages in supply. This reduces a technological advantage when you can't access these rare metals that probably have to deal with semiconductors and other things. So we'll have to address that. There's an urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. Let's take a look at this. Advances in AI have resulted in it being cheap and practical to recognize faces using simple cameras in our street. In theory, this is great for detecting criminals, but it opens up the whole topic of privacy and big data. Should we step in to prevent the blanketing of our cities with face recognition cameras that store who knows what information? Ban facial recognition. This technology is amazing but terrifying. We have no idea what private companies or future governments will do with the information that's being collected collected by these cameras. This is the ultimate surveillance state, used either for oppression or profit, and we should stop it immediately. Allow face recognition. Nobody's worried that a passerby can see their face, so why the outrage about a camera? Unless you are a wanted criminal or a terrorist, what exactly is the problem? The collection of this data helps both fight crime and provide us with amazing personal services. It would be technophobic overreaction to ban its use. Yeah, this is a tough one because you need the facial recognition to fight crime when you're dealing with terrorists and such. Now I'm gonna ban it. Oh, liberals are happy, capitalists are not happy, technology is down. Okay, that was not a great choice, but we did it anyways. This budget deficit of 120.44 billion, we need to reduce spending. We did reduce spending a bit. Tragic news tonight is a major investigation has found that the state execution of John Myers is a case of mistaken identity. New forensic evidence proves the innocence beyond all doubt. Is a shocking reminder that the government policy on the death penalty can and will lead to deaths in some cases of entirely innocent citizens. We speak tonight to Jasmine about state-sanctioned execution of her husband. View the policy. The death penalty is the ultimate punishment for serious crimes. Opponents are concerned with the possibility of killing the wrong person and suggest that only a barbaric state has death penalty. Supporters point out that it absolutely guarantees no reoffending and acts as a deterrent to serious crime. We had lowered it to homicide and rape. Yeah, I don't like rapists, I'm sorry. I got a problem with rapists. I'm not gonna deal with this right now. Alright, polls report. You're popular with the majority of voters. We predict we will get 100% of the vote in the election. Your types. Focus groups. The retired approve of us 62.72%. Let's take a look at our cabinet. She's doing great. I'm really sort of happy with my cabinet. He's not happy though. What is he? He's the liberal and the wealthy. And public services, conservatives and socialists. Rare earth metal mining. We don't have enough points for it. Oh, we have insufficient capital. We could have done something with it, but we unfortunately do not have anything that can address this. Rare earth metal mining. Support national initiatives for rare earth metal mining in order to make the country's industrial and high-tech production less dependent on imports from foreign countries. The extraction process is not good for the environment, but our technological advances depend on rare earth metals. The environmentalists are furious. Rare metal prices have increased. Foreign relations, rare earth metals. Maybe we need to work on our foreign relations. Let's look at foreign relations. Diplomatic services. Going beyond just having an ambassador and a secretary in a foreign country, employing a full diplomatic service may be more expensive, but in the field of international diplomacy, you need to stay on top of things in order to get the best deals for your country. And to keep everyone involved and happy, it may take some time to get it working efficiently, but it will boost foreign relations. What does foreign relations do? Yeah, this is the rare earth prices. Let's go back to looking at diplomatic services. It's only going to cost millions. It's not going to cost billions. We have medium right now. Go to right there. We'll do high. That'll help our foreign relations a little bit. That didn't cost us anything, it just cost us money. Cryptocurrency taxation. More and more commerce is handled by cryptocurrencies. To cover the cost of tax evasion and tie new currencies to the fiscal system, rules and taxation are required. The internet currency tax reduces the income for everyone trading in cryptocurrencies, most self-employed and small companies. Okay, the capitalists are not happy. The liberals are really not happy. But we would bring in $2 billion or so. Let's apply the changes. At a minimum level, the state guarantees that consumer is not totally ripped off. At the other end of the spectrum, draconian legislation can benefit the consumer at the expense of business. Companies often complain about the amount of legislation governing the selling to the public. Could raise this a little bit. Improves our standing with the liberals, which is what I was trying to do. Apply some changes. We have 2 political capital. This is free school meals. This would increase our standing with the parents. It would lower obesity. We can raise it for 2 points. It costs us some money. 1 political capital. So we have 1 political capital. When the government gives out so much money in welfare payments, it is essential that the money is correctly targeted and not exploited by people making spurious claims. The dedicated fraud department will detect false claimants, recover lost money, and reassure middle-income taxpayers that their taxes are being spent widely, although it can antagonize legitimate claimants. I am upset about it antagonizing legitimate claimants, but We will do it right there. Let's hit that button. We are beginning our third term. Our GDP is up, our health is amazing, education is up, poverty is going down, unemployment is going down, crime is non-existent, private space industry is growing noticeably in our country. Although historically big space projects have been undertaken by government, advances in technology mean that there is now a huge potential market for the commercialization of space exploration and space travel, including private satellites, space tourism, and even asteroid mining. Freedom of information is an urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. There have been calls for law to increase the availability of information held on databases about citizens without their knowledge. These include records held by private medical companies, insurance companies, and debt collection agencies, as well as information held by government departments. Reject the proposal. Nobody likes the idea of the government holding information about them, but in some circumstances it needs to be done. Government isn't out to spy on everyone, but passing this law will just make it harder for the intelligence services to keep a watch on serious criminals and terrorists. It will also affect a large number of businesses who have customer databases who will be swamped with yet more bureaucracy. Pros Freedom Act. It's essential that we have this law passed as one of checks and balances required in any truly free society. The average law-abiding citizen should not be spied on or monitored by multinational corporations with computer databases, and the potential for abuse by government agencies if the citizens cannot view what data is being stored is huge. The government can say some things are done in national security, and that's why some of these documents are not released. But the potential for corporations to spy on you is huge, and that can be sold to other countries. So I'm going to propose the Freedom Act. Liberals are happy, state employees are not happy because of the bureaucracy and all the paperwork they have to do, and corruption is down. So that's good. Poor voters' perception. There is a problem in the way voters perceive you as a leader that needs to be addressed before the next election. Well, I can't be re-elected. I've served 2 terms. Our data is showing that we have potentially bad situation pollution on our hands if we do not act soon. We've been working on the environment, so I don't know what the situation is. We've been reducing car usage. We could reduce air travel, but then that's going to affect people coming into our country. Polls. You have the popularity of the majority of voters who predict that you would get 100% of the vote on election. Budget is currently running on a budget deficit of $107.45 billion. It is going down. We should take steps to reduce this. The cabinet report, loyalty of our ministers can be best described as trustworthy. Their effectiveness is generally considered to be fair. Where is pollution? Controls reduce pollution and increase health, possibly at the cost of economic competitiveness. The capitalists will probably not be happy. The GDP is going to go down, but CO2 emissions. CO2 campaign. The government can pass laws and make spending plans, but it can also tackle the issue of climate change by urging citizens to reduce their emissions voluntarily. A public information campaign can persuade citizens not to waste energy and choose environmentally friendly products by means of transportation and eat less meat. We are at the max on this. Could we raise it by 1? Yeah, we could raise it by 1. Let's apply that. Pollution controls, government targets, restrictions and fines. We'll do 2, restrictions and fines. The environment goes up. The capitalists aren't happy. CO2 emissions go down. Apply that change. Okay, what can we do for the capitalists? Vertical farming subsidies, unemployment benefits, quantitative easing, citizenship for sale, charity tax relief. A policy designed to encourage the wealthy or anybody who pays tax to donate to charity by deducting some of their charitable donations from their income when calculating various taxes. We could do that a little bit. Help our standing with the capitalists. We could do 2 points. Charity will go up. Apply the changes. Carbon store and capture. I'm thinking about this for the pollution issue that we're dealing with. A variety of engineering solutions to capture carbon dioxide emissions to reduce climate change, from a direct air capture to methods involving capturing it at the source from existing fossil fuel power stations. Let's try this. It'll reduce CO2 emissions. It's free to raise. It's just going to cost a lot of money. Let's apply the changes. Diverted profits tax. A tax levied on estimates regarding large companies' profits earned in this country, regardless of their actual reporting. This is used to prevent multinational companies from claiming that all of their profits they earned were somehow only generated in a tax haven, with little or no corporate taxes. By using cunning accounting trickery, this tax is mostly designed as an incentive to push such companies to play with the spirits as well as the letter of the law. It's free to raise it. It costs 3 political capital. Capitalists are really furious with us. Foreign relations are down. down, we would raise $30 billion. Let's apply that. We have 3 political capital to work with. State subsidies for school buses ensure that every school kid has an efficient and safe journey to school whilst reducing the number of short school run trips carried out by parents, thus reducing traffic on the roads. Parents are also happier knowing that there are proper approved school buses. Do that. We have 1 political capital remaining. City farms. Can we do anything with this? We can raise it. I'm doing city farms just because. Okay, we are at the end of our 3rd term. We are going into our 4th term of our 3rd year. Let's hit that button and go into the 4th term of our 3rd year. We are in the 4th term of our 3rd year. GDP is up, education is up, poverty level is not quite extinguished, health is amazing. We have a park ranger killed. A park ranger who disturbed a group of armed poachers was killed in the line of duty today. The value of endangered species on the black market means poachers are now willing to murder. Situation imminent. Our data showing that we have a potentially bad situation. Antibiotic resistant bacteria on our hands if we do not act soon. Ooh, that's not good. We don't want antibiotic resistant bacteria because there is antibiotic resistant tuberculosis. Good news, the global economy is doing well and this is having a positive effect on our GDP. Oh, look at this. We are currently have a minor budget deficit of $54.46 billion. This is not cause for a major concern. We are popular among the major voters. Hunting animals for sports is a contentious pursuit, especially if their numbers in the wild are dwindling. However, wild animals can be considered as part of the country's natural resource, able to be exploited to create a variable hunting industry. Regulated game hunting is a way of managing animal populations and protecting other species and ensuring hunters pay for the privileges. Of course, nature may best be served by an outright ban. Well, that's not true because there are times when there is an overpopulation of deer. They develop a disease. Sometimes the diseases of certain wild animals are transmissible to humans. I was living in an area in upstate New York and we had an overpopulation of deer and they developed a wasting sickness. And it was bad. Hunting licenses are important to regulate wild population of animals so that they do not starve to death. That was another problem with these animals. There was a mold on the plants and the animals not only got the wasting disease because they couldn't find proper nutrition, also because there was an overpopulation, so they got doubly hit. So yeah, licenses are important. Okay, let's see what happens. The farmers don't like it. The environmentalists are fine. Well, the environmentalists are loving me. We'll do 3 on this. What was the other thing we were looking to do? We were looking to deal with antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Where that is. Antibiotics ban. Ranchers and farmers are feeding antibiotics to livestock since they discovered decades ago that small doses of antibiotics administered daily make the animals gain additional weight. Although conclusive evidence directly linking the use of drugs in food animals to an increase in drug-resistant bacteria has not been uncovered, a number of recent studies suggesting such a link concern many scientists. Banning antibiotics leads to a decrease in meat production but ensures consumer safety. This is going to cost us a lot of political capital. The capitalists will really not be happy with us, the farmers won't be happy, and farmer membership will go down. But we're dealing with an antibiotic resistant stuff, so we're going to deal with this. It's free to raise, it's going to cost us a lot of money. Let's do it to about there. We'll apply the changes. 6 political capital. We were dealing with pollution before and that was good. We could do an airline tax. Airline fuel is generally not subject to taxation. Supporters of air fuel taxes insist that it results in unfair subsidy to environmentally destructive form of transport. Airlines point out that taxing the air fuel will just encourage them to refuel elsewhere, thereby diverting funds from our economy. It does affect the GDP a little bit. I could do it to about there. I'm trying to raise us some money here for our government. So if I raise it to about there, it reduces air travel. It does reduce tourism, sadly. It doesn't improve the environment, but I'm going to apply those changes because it raises $4 billion. We have 2 political capital that we can spend. What can we spend it on? Many people would love to buy fresh produce from farmers, but living in a city, this is often a hassle to drive out to the countryside. So why not bring farmers to the cities directly? This program helps ambitious farmers to establish farms in and around cities so they can be close to their customer. And we'll get some of the city kids to consider a career in farming. We'll raise that all the way up to 2. We are at 0. We are at the end of our fourth term as president, and therefore we are at the end of this episode. Thank you so much for stopping by our Crooked House. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section if you are enjoying the gameplay or if you want to see this series continue. I'd love to hear your ideas. Please be kind. If you like what you saw, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to follow our future episodes. It really helps us out. Have a great week. See you soon.